What's up, guys and girls? It's been a while. Here we are with Old Yeller. You haven't seen this truck in a while, and neither have I, if you didn't guess by all the snow I had to clear off of it. Today, we're just gonna have a quick look around this thing and then look at some stuff online where it's warmer inside. It's dark here like 18 hours of the day. It's minus 35 outside right now. I'm risking hypothermia to make this video, but we're gonna do the best we can. I'm curious what you think this thing is worth, because the prices of these trucks is pretty insane these days, I will admit. And this one's in alright shape. We'll have a close look at all the body in a second, but first of all, let's look under the hood here. We're gonna do this quick. You can take a really good look at the truck. I'll show you all the main points you'd kind of want to look at if you're to put a value on this thing. And then we're gonna go inside and look at the local market of these trucks, because some of you guys might think it's worth a lot less than it is, but it's pretty crazy around here. You can see it is very stock. According to the original options list, this is a 305. The guy said it was a 350. I really haven't done anything to confirm nor deny that yet. But what we did do, you can see the custom hot rod air cleaner set up on there. Put a new air filter in there, cleaned the carb a bit, tuned it a bit. New spark plugs, because the spark plugs were completely trashed. Threw a battery in it, and then it ran, because I bought it when it wasn't running. I never heard it run. And luckily, it doesn't have like a major knock or anything. It runs really quiet. Dirty. I'd really I'd really like to clean it up under here, but being that it's winter and I don't have anywhere to work on it, you're just kind of limited. The stuff that I'd like to do to this truck next really is all like kind of cleaning and painting stuff, if I was to go further with it, but we'll talk about more of that in a second. Moving on from under the hood, I suppose we'll take a look at the body while we still got some light here. And this fender, I'm pretty sure, is a replacement fender, so it's really straight. The other side, I believe, might be as well. The wheels, you know, decent rally wheels. Again, need to be cleaned and painted. I'd really like to get some beauty rings for them. Tires all hold air. They've held air for over a year now. They're just fairly cracked and not in the greatest shape, that kind of thing. The biggest rust holes and issues are kind of these inner fenders, which are really cheap. I think they're like 60, 80 bucks or something for the whole thing brand new. So that's not too big of a deal. The grill and all this kind of needs to be, you know, cleaned up. The bumpers, I would just paint, sand and paint. Kind of bring them back to a nice looking condition. Does need a bow tie. Yeah, this fender also is pretty good. I think it's also new. You can see the original color in multiple places in the truck, but Firewall being one of those places. It is a color they painted government trucks. That is the factory color. It was actually painted this 90s show truck yellow by someone probably in the 90s with the pinstripe and the gray on the bottom. But again, here you can see original color, and really all around this truck is pretty solid. It has had replacement panels put on here on the box on either side. You know, it was probably done in the 90s, so at this point you can start to see basically where it is, the outline of it. But if you look in here, you can see even more how it's kind of just in there. That's a little rougher looking than I remember, but in general the box is in pretty good shape. Got to get rid of these mud flaps. Holds lots of snow. Never had a tailgate when I bought it. Just kind of has this, it had like a farmer cattle truck gate, that's what I'll call it, so I'll go with. He never gave it to me, but it still has these brackets, so a tailgate would be something to get. Rear bumper, same thing again. It just needs to be painted. It's relatively straight, not too bad at all. Oh, it is cold. All right, so I don't know if you could say this is where I did the most work, but probably where the most improvement has been with this truck is specifically the gauge panel, because I kind of restored all this. I took everything to do with this panel apart, cleaned it. The gear indicator wasn't working. I put a piece of new string in there. Factory, they kind of use this nylon string thing. It's a little weird. I wasn't sure that was how it was supposed to be, but then we looked at a couple at the junkyard, and it's how they are. The seat is original, matches the options list, the color it is and stuff like that, along with the dash and door panels. This is all the stock stuff. Again, you can see the original yellow. In here, really well. Let's see. This. See, I never really got to clean up back here yet. Although, when I did get this truck, there was like piles of stuff back here. I never filmed it, and I really wish I did. But like, the very first time that I had to take stuff out of this truck and like kind of assess it once we got it back from buying it in Saskatchewan, the province over, state over for you Americans, it was full of crap. I really think that someone probably passed away and this truck was sold at like an estate sale auction, something like that. Because it was just full of like personal stuff. The glove box was full of like, you know, bills and like medical papers, things that you probably wouldn't leave in a truck you were selling if you were around. But has a manual choke. What else about the interior? I don't know. I kind of, you know, at first this color, it's kind of a turnoff because all, you know, construction trucks and highway worker trucks in the province and in general in Canada are kind of this color, or were back in the 70s. So, you know, it's kind of whatever, but I don't know, it kind of grows on you. It's definitely better than the faded pea yellow that they painted it. If it was still the stock color, then that'd be nice and it'd probably be worth more. But yeah, so there's the interior. It's fairly decent. This is the bad spot on the seat. The rest of it over there is kind of nice. There's a little poop stain on the seat there, but you can probably wash that out. The biggest thing that I did on this truck, me and Clayton did rather, is we swapped out the transmission because it did not work. Oh no. Huh. Son of a bitch. I did not expect to see that. Huh. So, the story there. Well, you can probably see the tail shaft there is leaking a bit. God damn, son of a biscuit. I didn't expect to find that there again. This is the trans that came in it, TH350. Started leaking out of the tail housing, so I took the one off here. I let it sit for about a week, and it didn't leak, and now it did apparently a little bit. But there's just a tiny little bit in there. But man, is that annoying, because the drive shaft on this thing is like a big wiggly three-piece friggin' monster. But anyway, that's the basics of this truck. Sliding rear window. I'd say it's very original. I mean, besides the fenders, the body's all original, the interior is all original. There's no like hack wiring all over the place in it or anything like that. It kind of is what it is. You guys have basically seen, I mean, rust-wise, the rockers are all solid. Door's a little dented here, but everything is solid. And the frame is nice and solid all the way around too. It's kind of at the point that I decided I wanted to get it to. It runs, drives, stops, and is kind of like, you know, together. It's a good project ready to go for someone. So to sell it like that, I figured it was, you know, probably good. I'll get a bit less money than I originally planned when I planned on fixing it more. And it's silly because if I had the space, or it wasn't minus 30 out here right now, I could do a lot of stuff easily to increase the value quite a bit. Like painting the bumpers. I'd repaint this gray along the bottom, maybe like a darker charcoal gray. Most of the yellow on the truck is okay besides these certain areas, so maybe I'd just touch this up, but I wouldn't want to paint, you know, the whole thing. Like I said, paint the wheels, beauty rings, stuff like that, and making it run and start perfect. I think it would increase the value. Speaking of the value though, let's go inside and talk about that now, because the sun's almost gone for another 18 hours. As far as I can tell, the truck only had a couple owners, probably the city, and then it looked like it belonged to some sort of construction company, not as like a work truck. It's not dented up or anything, as a surveying truck or something like that. And then a private owner owned it, I believe. But comes with the owner's manual, which is nice, you know, original. And this, which I'm not sure if it came like this, probably did. I don't think he laminated it or anything, but has all the options on it. So as you can see, heavy duty stuff, blocky, I don't know. Try to get a good shot of that. You guys can read that if you want. But you can see the special paint, Canadian thing, buckskin vinyl trim, special front, maybe seat. I kind of looked up all this stuff before, but I forget at this point. So now that you've seen the truck all over and I've come inside and warmed up a bit, Yeah, I want 2 grand for it. That's what I'm thinking. 2 grand OBO, how it is, probably fix that transmission leak. But other than that, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, do you think that's crazy? Do you think that's too much? Do you think those old trucks are overvalued and you can get one like that for 500 bucks? Well, it's all about location and what you can get nearby, right? I mean, I had to drive 8 hours. We went and drove to get that truck for that deal. So let's see what we have in the local market right now and compare it to that. All right, so we're on Kijiji here, which is basically the Canadian version of Craigslist. It's owned by eBay, I'm pretty sure. We're in the classic car section right now. Let's just start looking around here. This one looks pretty nice. Yeah, painted, under the hood, still kind of stock. You can see he obviously did some work. Seat is pretty ripped up. But this truck, he wants $9,500 for. It is a 4x4. Blah, blah, unfinished project, time and money to finish it. Yeah, so will safety for extra price. Okay, so just quickly, safeties, that's basically an inspection you have to get done to ensure things here. So you'll see that word thrown about in our ads quite a bit. This one doesn't have a price, but looks pretty nice. This guy probably wants 30 grand for that thing. But moving on, wanted to buy this one here. Let's see, for 750 bucks, which a lot of you probably think the yellow truck is worth. Full bolt rear end, no motor or trans, was running and driving and stopping. Was a manual, so the clutch is there. No TOD, so basically no title. So, you know, unless you go through a bunch of hassle, you can't really insure this thing or do anything with it. You can see there's not much left of the box or the front fenders. This thing looks ready for the junkyard. But, you know, that's what you get. That's what people ask around here. Here's a nicer one. $6,000. Won't take much for a safety, new battery. You know, another one that a guy has kind of fixed up a bit so he can have something nice to cruise to a car show. But yeah, also a long box. Like, we haven't seen any short boxes yet. This one's 6 grand, or best offer. We got a 4x4 here for 6 grand. Fresh rebuilt and beefed up TH350. You gotta love when they say stuff like that. Nothing leaks, the hard stuff is done. But it has rust all over the freaking place. Yeah, so this is kind of another average. Well, above average, I'd say. But yeah, you can definitely see it's rusty at the bottom of everything and in the hood and stuff. So really, rust-wise, it's, wow, I'd say it's worse than Old Yeller. But the oil pan and transmission are painted super nice. Whoa, and the transfer case. Jeez, this guy, the detail work. But yeah, I still think that's 6 grand. I don't know. This looks like a good comparison, maybe. $3,000, it's a 79. 3/4 ton, no safety. Safety 3 years ago, of course. New motor 2 years ago, of course. 350. That's what they all say. Only 7,000 K since, yada yada. We'll need a rocker, patch. Yeah, so it needs some things. Driver door needs to be rehung. You can look at these pictures here that really don't show much. Condition-wise, this looks similar to Old Yeller, I would say. It does have a tailgate, but it doesn't really have too much else going on for it. 3 grand, not safety. Let's see. So this thing looks kind of like a turd. Basically every panel is rusted beyond the point where you'd want to repair them. The thing about these trucks, obviously, is the panels are so cheap that, you know, to fix up a rusty one isn't the end of the world because it all just kind of bolts on. Here's another one. Similar to Old Yeller, maybe a little worse. General condition, $3,500. Not safetied. It's a project, too big of a project for him. Left side of the frame is bent. Nice. So yeah, reduced to 3,500, or reduced from 5 grand to 3,500. It has brand new tires and exhaust though. Now locally, the price is maybe very much off compared to where you are. Let's see this one, 7,700. It's got to be mint, right? You know, these guys in their faraway pictures, you can't really tell too much. And it's not even in the city. Rebuilt 350 headers, tires. Needs other bodywork. drive straight and running like a top for 7,700 OBO. I mean, I think you're starting to see the trend, and kind of the point I'm making when I say I want to sell mine for 2,000 or best offer. So let's see, 1,600. Box side, non-existent. Yeah, doesn't even have a front tire there. Interior looks okay. Engine bay looks the same as mine. Someone painted those wheels and they've started to rust again already. I mean, obviously, people don't get what they try to sell vehicles for all the time. But if all of them are priced like this and you price yours lower, then the chances are you're winning. That's all you got to do is beat the market. This one says 1,500 part out. So you can kind of see what I'm working with here. So what do you guys think? I think the question's almost like a two-parter, because it's what do you think it's really worth? Maybe around you, like, everyone kind of has different ideas of what stuff is worth depending on their area and the impressions that have been made on them in their local market. But that's one part. The other part is, what do you think it's worth here? Because as you guys saw, people ask some pretty ridiculous prices locally for these trucks. I looked at a lot of trucks before I bought Old Yeller. It was definitely one of, I waited and got the right one. Kind of brings the next question, why am I not keeping it and fixing it and stuff like that? Well, I kind of never planned to keep it. I just wanted to play with it a bit and, break even, make $100 or $2. That's basically what the 2,000 OBO asking price is. I think I did a decent amount of work cleaning it up, swapping the transmission in and out twice, getting it running. I mean, when I bought it, it didn't run or drive, or the brakes were actually seized as well, and me and Clayton did some brake work on it. But if I was to keep it, I don't know if I'd keep it long box or short box. We talked about this before. It'd be a lot of work. Basically, I want to have another square body at some point. I don't have any storage space. I know you guys want to see me work on the Sonic Stang, and honestly, that's top priority if I'm going to work on any vehicle. Am I really saying that? Yeah, but it is. But the big priority, if you've made it this long in the video, teaser, hopefully, I don't like locking myself in to things on the channel, because then people tend to bug you on the comments about it when you don't accomplish it. But there's no way it's not happening. There's going to be. I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed the Blue Ghost video series. That was really cool. Rob was successful there fixing his tick, which I'm sure a lot of LS guys can identify with. He'll probably do a question and answer video about that soon, because, there's some things missed in the video. And if you hadn't watched all the way back and all the previous videos, which you can, there is a playlist for the Blue Ghost. You might have some questions too, and he can handle that a lot better than I can. So, what do you guys think it's worth? Old Yeller. Probably going to get rid of it. If you're local and you're seeing this, you definitely have first bite at it. I haven't listed it for sale yet. Hope you guys enjoyed this little update and question I have. But until next time, check you later.